Good evening, viewers. As we stand today, this is Side Play, and on today's segment, we are going to cover on the volleyball team. With me is the Kenya legendary head coach, David Lungaho. Welcome to the show. Hello, David.
Hello, thank you.
I'm good. Who is David?
David Lungaho is the person you're seeing, head coach for so many years, and very successful in terms of coaching volleyball. And I'm happy of what I'm doing. I've been known to be coaching women for all these years. It's only this year that I've switched to men because our volleyball federation felt it was necessary that what I've done with women, I can also try and do with men because the men have been lagging behind, and that's why I'm here now with men.
Despite you being a coach, what about your playing career, and when did you begin to join the volleyball team? Were you, is there a parent who was a volleyball or one of the sides?
Yeah, it's a very long story because I started way back when I was very young. I was 10 years old. That was in 1977. And my father was a volleyball coach. He was a player, and by then he was a coach. So he's the one who inspired me and coached me for the first time. And I played volleyball from as early as 10 years old while in Nakuru and still in primary school. And I also represented Nakuru municipality during the primary school games in 1978-79. And then thereafter, when I went to high school, is when I started really working on volleyball. And all my life, I have been involved in volleyball. In 1985, when I completed my O-level, I was employed at Kenya Railways as a volleyballer in Nakuru, and then later transferred to Nairobi in 1988 to reinforce the Nairobi Railways team, which was a very strong team. And come 1989, I got the first call-up to the national team. It was a setter by position, and I played the national team from 1989 all through to the year 2000 when I retired from playing. So my whole life, I have played volleyball at different clubs, Nakuru Railways, Nairobi Railways, and Kenya Commercial Bank, which I also played for.
David, what were some of the awards you won as a player?
Yeah, as a player, I won very many awards, and especially in the region, Eastern Central Africa region. We used to have a championship that covered Eastern Central Africa, and I think from 1989 to about 95, I was voted as the best setter in Eastern Central Africa. But my biggest award as a player I got during the 1995 Africa Club Championships, where I was voted the best setter. That was my biggest individual award that I ever got as a player.
And what about the coaching? 2000, when you became first coach, can you tell us more about the coaching career?
Yeah, I started my coaching career in the year 2000. Of course, after having trained as an international coach. First of all, I was at Kenya Commercial Bank as an assistant coach, where I got a lot of experience. Thereafter, I was recruited by Kenya Pipeline in 2003 to take over as their head coach. And after 1 year, I managed to win the Africa Club Championship in Senegal as the coach of Kenya Pipeline, and won it the year that followed also here in Nairobi. And after 2007, I was approached by the Kenya Prisons team, which had started a ladies team, to go and take over as the coach. And I moved to Kenya Prisons. And for the next 5 years with the Kenya Prison team, we became the African champions of volleyball from 2008 all the way to 2012. So we became champions of Africa. And at the same time as I was coaching Kenya Prisons, I was also the head coach of the Malkia Strikers, which is the women national team. And with me as the coach, we also went on to win 5 African titles, Africa Cup of Nations 5 times in a row, 2005, 2007, 2011, 2013, and 2015. But then as a coach, the biggest title that I ever got was when we won the World Grand Prix Group 3 in Australia in 2015. Where we became champions, beating Peru in the finals. Though that is the biggest title I have in my life as a coach, and also other achievements where I was awarded Head of State Commendation by our president for a good job that I've been doing in volleyball. So for me, I think I've achieved quite a lot in volleyball, and it has helped me also as a family man because I have a lot of support from my family, my wife and my children. That's why I enjoy doing what I'm doing.
What can you tell the new or upcoming coaches, either be a male or a female, who is going to coach either of the sides? What word can you say to them? Because we have seen you are a male, and you have been coaching the female team and winning a lot of titles and awards. So, can anyone make it, or do we need a woman to coach the female for her to win?
In fact, coaching women is more challenging than coaching men. For women, it's more difficult because being a man, I first of all have to understand the needs of the women and how they operate, which is so complicated. But because of the experience that I had and so many years that I've been in them, I came to understand what they need and what they do, when to train them hard, when not to train them hard, and then being together with them. For me, I was like a father to them, and they took me as their father. I help them in all their ways, even when they have their own personal issues I try to address. So coaching women is a bit complicated, but the good thing about coaching women is that they grasp what you tell them. They understand what you tell them. And if they want to perform, I think they will perform. It's easier to win with women than with men. It's easier to win with women. For men, they are easy to coach, but then understanding and getting what you're telling them is an issue, is a problem. It's a bit more difficult to coach men. But I'm trying. It's not my first time I'm handling men. I was given men in 2011 for 2 months, to handle them for 2 months, and we managed to get to the finals of Africa Championships. For the first time a black country got in the finals for men. I was the coach, but after that, I went back to women. So it's my second time to try to coach men and see what I can achieve out of that.
But for that, was it not the 2011 Doha World Cup?
No. It was 2011 Africa Club Championships, where I went to the men team and we managed to go to the finals. And since then, and since volleyball started in Africa, no other black country has gotten into any finals.
You joined the national team at the year 2004.
Yes.
So what can you say about the national team? Because we have a lot of critics on either be on politics side, either be financial, with the government. How are you collaborating with them?
Okay, I joined the national team in 2004 to prepare the team to go to the Olympics, and we qualified and went to the Athens Olympics in 2004. And all along, we've been having a lot of struggles, more especially because of finances. Because I can say for sure the kind of support that volleyball needs in this country is not what we receive, because the government is not very active in terms of supporting other sports, and volleyball being one of them. Was it not of late for our sponsor that we have, that is National Oil, volleyball would have been down completely. Because I can say it without any fear of contradiction, the support that we get from the government is very minimal. Sometimes not even enough to put a team in camp. But because of the passion that we have for the sport, we just bring ourselves, we look for sponsors, and we manage to take the team out to Japan, where through sponsors. But for government support, on very few occasions that I can count, we've had that support from the government. But we want to thank the president, because 3 days ago, he mentioned that every team sport that represents the country will be supported. So we are yet to see that, and we believe, the president said, we hope, because we have a lot of assignment this year, and we need a lot of money. So if the government comes in to support us, then we can try and do something. Because as a national team, we have to play the Africa Cup of Nations later in the year. We have to play F5B Challenge Cup, which is a world event. We have to play Olympic qualification in Italy. We have to play another Olympic qualification in Africa. And we have already qualified to go for the World Cup in Japan in September. So you see, this is a lot of work for the Volleyball Federation. And without support of the government, it will be very difficult to participate in all this. But we hope that the government is going to come in so that we manage to send our teams in all these competitions. We are starting training as a national team on April the 1st. So we want to prepare well so that we put a mark also in the world.
Why did you choose to be a coach? That's the question people want to know, because you cannot be a player and you be a good coach. Even in the football world, you see, we had Thierry Henry, who was a fantastic player in the Arsenal team. And when just some 3 months ago, he went back to Monaco. We saw what he made. He didn't develop and he was sacked. So for your side, you became a good player, winning titles, and you end up being a good coach, also winning titles. How did you make it?
It doesn't happen very often. Very few players who are successful become successful coaches. So I think it's selective. and maybe it's through God's wish, because very many good players who try their hands in coaching fail quite a lot. But for me, it was not the same case. What I can say, I think it's passion. I am very passionate about what I'm doing. And that's why, before I even retired as an active player in the national team, I was already a registered international coach. Because by the time I was playing, I was also doing some coaching courses for coaches. So I was a player, at the same time, a qualified coach. So it's about passion. And when I came in, I tried to learn a lot about the new developments in the sport. Volleyball being a dynamic sport that changes every day, you have to go with the times. I do a lot of research. I do a lot of scouting, statistical work. I have very many international foreign coaches who we talk on daily basis through WhatsApp, email. They give me the new techniques of coaching. You come to my house, you'll always find me on my computer just reading about volleyball. So I like new challenges every day. And I think that is what has made me be where I am today. And I'm not giving up yet. In fact, what I'm doing, I'm trying to bring up so many other young lady coaches, because I believe the moment Kenya will get some lady coaches, then the ladies will handle themselves and they will handle themselves better. For now, I'm happy because I've encouraged about 3 of my former players, or still active players, and I have already qualified to be international coaches. It's just a matter of them retiring from playing and taking up coaching. So I don't want, when I leave a gap. I've brought in so many coaches who are following me behind. Now I'm the technical director of volleyball in Kenya, and I want to get in so many coaches to come in and take over the work that we've been doing.
In 2011, the Doha World Cup, we have seen that being your most challenging moment, whereby the Kenyan team, which went to Doha, had lost a match during their semis against an American team, whereby it ended 3-2. So how can you narrate to us and what happened that day?
It's all about experience, because sometimes we lose big matches because of the exposure that we have. As much as we really try to develop and work hard, we lack exposure. And we lack exposure because of finances. Because when we are training for a big event, we need to expose our players to the same kind of environment. Taking them out of the country, like in Europe, in America, in Asia, to train like for 2 or 3 months to prepare themselves. But because of lack of finances, we end up training here at Kasarani for a longer period without any big international friendly matches, without foreign or overseas training. So it becomes more complex. You find that when you play against a strong team that has a lot of experience, you lose at the last minute, because experience counts when the game is deadlock. Experience counts. And that's why we lost in Doha. But we've not lost hope. I have one belief in me, that even if we cannot manage to win in the World Cup this time, I'm sure time will come. I'll not be there, but somebody will be there. We'll have to win at the World Cup.
What's your say in the Kenyan future game? Do we have the volleyball team that they are going to qualify the next 5 to 6 years in the World Cup, or are they going to bring the great title or a World Cup title back home?
5 to 6 years, no. That's a very short time. We are having plans in place, but for us to win the World Cup, if the plans that we have go on well, maybe we can talk of that in the next 20, 25 years. Not 5 years, quite a short time. You need a very long-term plan, which you're working on. One thing that we don't lack here in Kenya is the talent. We don't lack talent. Volleyball is not like any other sport in this country. We are unique in the sense that we do our scouting right from primary school. Right now, we can set up a junior team of under 17, under 16, which is very, very strong. We have teams that play in our tournaments that are in primary schools. Last weekend, we had a tournament in Kitale. We had a primary school which beat up some other high schools, because it's one of the projects that we have. So we don't lack players. And the kind of players that you are bringing in, who are coming in, and the players that I saw in primary school and secondary school, if they can be molded together, put together, train and get the exposure, then in the next, when they're around 23, 24, 25 years, that is the next 20 years, they can perform well at the World Cup. That one is my hope, is my belief, and I'm sure it will be happen. What we just need is proper support from the government, from the sponsors, but mostly from the government. When the government is with you, I tell you, you can do anything, and that's what we are crying for.
But you see, the government have been sponsoring the Harambee Stars, the rugby. So you want to claim there is no any type of sponsorship for the volleyball team?
What I'm saying, the kind of support they give to Harambee Stars, if they can give us that just half of that support, then we are going to do wonders. I'm not saying they don't support us. They support us, but it's minimal. For example, maybe when we give a budget of about 20 million to prepare to go out of the country, and you are given 2 million, you see that is 10% of what you want. So it's so minimal. What we need is maximum support, because for rugby, they have a lot of sponsors. They can depend on themselves. But for football, they give a lot of support to football. And we are crying that they give the same support to volleyball, and they see what we'll do. Football has never qualified for the World Cup. Volleyball has qualified for the World Cup 5 times. We've gone for the World Championship 4 times. We've gone for the World Grand Prix 3 times, including 1 time which we won, without support, proper support. If they give us that support, then we are going to give a very big mark.
Now that we have seen the Kenyan volleyball team, they are bringing good and new talents in the league. We have seen a lot of challenges, like all the way from Mandera, Turkana to Kisumu. A lot of players, a lot of talents are born daily. How are you going to manage those new talents while you don't have support or any sponsorship from the government?
We have our fans of Kenya Volleyball Federation. And what we normally do, we have some schools that we say are our centers of excellence, whereby when we see a good girl or a good young boy who plays volleyball at primary school and is somewhere very far, we try and organize to get that player to a school that we can make follow-ups at a school that has a volleyball history, so that that player goes to school there, at the same time pursues the career as a volleyballer. We've been doing, since I came in, I think we've already gotten about 4 or 5 players from Lodwar, from Turkana. We brought them to Nairobi. We took them to Machakos. There's a school that is called Kwandaze, who are the regional champions of volleyball, East and Central Africa. They went to school there. They cleared school. I think one has just cleared last year. The others who cleared school are already in the national team. They are already into employment, and they're now playing volleyball full time. And we've done that with other girls from Masai Land, from wherever. So we are scouting. If we get a player today from Garissa who is very good and she's tall, we can bring her, take her to Western. We have schools in Western, 2 or 3 schools, and then we make follow-ups. We go there sometimes for a week, 2 to train them, and then on clearing schools, we get them to Nairobi, inject them in the national team, and then we develop them from there. So we have our way of the way we are doing things. And this is purely with our federation. We don't have any funding for this.
What can you say for the men who are ready to coach the female team, or the female who are ready to coach the male team? What can you say?
First of all, I want to tell them to have passion. You must have passion for the sport. And when you want to coach either gender, you must believe in yourself. Get the right techniques, get the right coaching skills, talk to many coaches, talk to me. I advise you on what to do, and then love the sport. Because if you do it without loving it, it will be very complicated for you. I'd encourage more ladies to come in. We have already got so many male coaches in this country, but very few ladies. But during my tenure as a technical director, I've tried to bring in so many ladies to take up coaching. I want what I see in other developed countries, like in Italy, in China, whereby their lady teams are coached by women. Why not us? And we are starting it because when our national team starts training, we are going to have an expert from Italy to come and be with us into coaching as we prepare for the World Cup. and I believe she's going to be a lady. So she's going to coach us and give us even more skills. So I want to encourage any other person who is there. You might not be a very good player, but you have passion for the sport. Take up coaching. We normally run coaching courses. Go and attend them, get your certificate, and then practice a lot with whichever team. And that's the way we are going to develop. We want to get more coaches. We still are not enough. Like here we have, in Kenya we have about, I think, 300 to 400 registered coaches. But we need more because we have so many players. Like in my team, the ladies team that I used to coach in prisons, I have over 40 players, and we are only 3 coaches. We need about 7 coaches for that team. Here in this team for men, I have about 22 players. We are 3 coaches. In fact, we were 2. I've brought in 1. We need like 2 other coaches. So we need to get more coaches, and we need coaches to come up. If you are there and you are a player, not even a good player, and you lost hope into playing, you can still become a very good coach.
David Nugaho, the real head coach of the female team. Thank you for having you.
Thank you so much.
It was a very nice time. I hope you will win a lot of titles with the male team too.
I hope so.
Can I be a coach for the female?
Welcome.
Thank you. Tell us, who is Ibrahim Odur?
Ibrahim Odur, I'm a player in Kenya Prisons volleyball team, and I'm also the captain of the team for quite some time. Yeah, that's Ibrahim Odur.
How many years have you been a captain?
Yeah, I've played volleyball for quite long, but in Kenya Prisons I started in 2008 as a right attacker, and I've played there since 2008. I've been in Kenya Prisons as a player. But before that, I played for some other clubs before joining Kenya Prison. So they scouted me as a talent, and by good luck, they gave us an opportunity to join the team as players, and at the same time, they gave us employment with the Kenya Prison Service. So we are there as employees of Kenya Prisons, at the same time as players of the team.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
How many awards have you won?
I've won several awards. First, as a team, we have won several league trophies. Since 2010, we won the league. 2012, we won the league. 2014, also, we won the league. And 2016, we won the league. So we have won several league awards in Kenya. That one is apart from tournament trophies, which we have won. There are countless tournament trophies. Again, in the African scenario, we have managed up to position 2. That was in 2011, 2011. And again, in several years, we have managed to position 5. Position 5 like 4 times, and position 6. We have managed also, the worst we have performed in Africa is position 7, which was last year. But we are looking forward to improve on that performance.
Back to Kelvin. Tell us more about the African Championship that is going to be held in Egypt, 30th of this month.
Okay, sadly I've told you, my name's Kevin Mayo, starter Kenya Prisons. As we are preparing for the Africa Club Championship, we were there last year. We have learned how those Arab teams are playing. So we are well prepared as per our training at the Kasarani now. We are very much prepared, and we are ready to tackle that. The Arab teams, including our own GSU.
How many teams are you facing?
Last year we were about 16 teams. So this year we are expecting the same.
Are you sure you're going to reach the finals?
No, we are not sure, but we have started our target. Our target is reaching semi-finals. That's our target for this year.
And hope to qualify for the final?
After semi-finals, that's the other one will be an advantage for us.
What about the support? Do you have any support or sponsorship on the current championship that you are heading, that you are going to travel for in Egypt?
We have a support from the department, our department, Kenya Prisons, supporting us very much. Plus the support of giving availability of indoor arena here at Kasarani. So the department is really supporting us very much. Yeah.
That's all about we could get from the captain and assistant captain of the Kenya Prisons. I'm your host, Mahmoud Abdullahi.